Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had your prima that continues to have kids, against all recommendations not to, have her smash that subscribe button right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest patrons. That list keeps growing and growing. Edward, Edwin, Albert 12, Jaime, Marshall, Valentine, Brenda, Soulstar LA, J.I., my tocayo Hector, Cassandra, Coach Ken, Manuel N, New Boot, I'm a Cabron, Boss Lady, Chris, Miguel L, Juliet Alpha Whiskey. If you have not already signed up, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You do not want to be missing out. This episode right here, man. Hector Bravo, former correctional lieutenant of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, where you did 16 years. Does a person's past define them? Excellent. Excellent topic. Right on time. Does a person's past define them? What a person did in their younger years, while they were under the influence of drugs or alcohol, while they were caught up in a certain lifestyle then, is it okay to hold that against them present time? 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years, 20 years later. Well, here we go. If you guys haven't already gathered, I'm a bit of a wild man myself. When I came back from Iraq, I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a fact. It's all over. Every interview I talk about what I went through. When I came back, I started self-medicating. Alcohol, drugs, right? Against my own will. Like, oh, Hector, that's not true. Everybody has willpower. Everybody has the choice to stop. Apparently, you guys are not aware of how severe alcoholism or drug addiction is, man. Or maybe you are. Maybe you are suffering from that. Maybe you have a loved one that no matter what, they just keep going back, right? And sometimes they'll never get it. Sometimes they do get it, right? God willing. I myself have 12 years of sobriety. 12. One day at a time. Which is a miracle considering I couldn't even go 12 minutes without drinking something. Alcohol, booze, Mad Dog 2020. 40s, OE, straight up. I got in trouble. With that came trouble. With that age, youth, came a lot of trouble. Let me see. First time I got arrested was 2006, a couple months before I joined CDCR. A beer run with my friends. Got arrested, went to jail. Hauled off to jail 1 week, right? Full program and everything. Wow. After that, I got a DUI in 2009 while being in the department. Okay? Boom. This is arrest number 2. Arrest number 3, man, I tell you guys to mind your own business at work, not to get involved with the who's, the what's, the she's, and the hers, or the he's and the who's. I landed myself in jail again, right? Man, I told you, don't get involved with people from work. Don't associate yourself with people from work. You cannot make this stuff up. So in turn, your boy had a rap sheet, a criminal history from 1 in 2006, 1 in 2009, and this is not even nothing to be laughing about, 1 in 2010. 1 before the department, 2 while in the department. You know, there's a joke in the department. It's like, hey, how do you promote? Or you're like, hey, you got to get in trouble to promote. That is the truth. I don't know how it works. I don't know the stars align or whatever. You see any captain, AW, chief, man, these guys got DUIs, domestic violence, sexual harassment charges up to you know what. Just wild with it. It's the truth. You got the poor squares, right? The book nerds, like with the calculators. They just can't get no love, right? Guess maybe they want some dirty. I don't know what they want, but that's just the truth. Is it a bad thing? I mean, I don't know. They gave me the opportunity to promote. I enjoyed it. And but this isn't about me. This episode isn't about me. It's giving you my background to let you know, hey, I don't have a clean slate. I don't have a clean past. I haven't been to jail since 2010. Since I've been sober. Imagine that. Haven't drank, haven't been to jail. Wow. Right? Wow. Mind-boggling. So the topic came up because I was running at Mission Beach, Belmont Park the other day. Shirt off, right? Boy doing his thing. Had an army hat on. Some guy hits me up from behind when I was, no, he didn't lay me out or anything. I was at the coffee shop right there at the end of my run. He asked me, what unit were you in the Army? Something along those lines. I turned around, start chopping it up. Dude happens to be the director of something big around that area, right? So I'm like, oh, man. I'm actually kind of looking for a job. You know, I kind of walked away from the Department of Corrections. Oh, really? Hey, here's my number. Hit me up. Boom. Hit him up. Interview. Hired on the spot, right? The drug test, urinalysis, and a background check. Every job has one. The urinalysis, I ain't tripping because I haven't done drugs since before the department, right? When I joined the department, of course, I'm going to be clean and arrow, right? I can't do stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing, right? Plus, you get randomly drug tests, so I was never tripping. It's like, yeah, give me that bottle. Man, I see DUI checkpoints now. I'm like purposely going into them because I know I'm not drinking and driving or drinking at all. I thought that background check was going to come up. It has come up in every other background check I've ever done. It says it right there. It has those 3 charges on there. Like, well, how many were dismissed? Well, the only one I ever got convicted for was the DUI 09. But nevertheless, it still shows up on the criminal record. Well, I'll be damned. Did my little thing online, comes back. I'm right looking at the email, like, here we go, putazo from hell, right? Because that's always bothered me. I'm not proud of that. It's always, man, I feel like it had defined me. Clean, boom, criminal, I was going to say a wild joke right now. Criminal offenses, 0 records. National database, 0 records. County, 0 records, right? Sex offender, 0 records. I'm not your boy Boxer. He said the joke. I said the fucking joke. I only said that because you guys have been commenting on my comments on the video. But don't trip. The moral of the story was fucking clean slate, right? Like on paper. I mean, text my dad, hey, check it out. My dad is my dad. Ooh, he wasn't happy when I was running amok. Ooh, he wasn't happy when I was running amok. My poor dad's very respectful, very quiet, very humble. Ooh, to see his son, just a little tornado from hell, right? Little Tasmanian devil. Like, hey, Dad, like, check this out. Only thing he texted back was good. He's in his mid-50s, right? Good. That's good enough for me. Good is good, right? It's not bad. So the moral of this point is I worked in a prison with convicted felons. Got convicted of a crime. And I'm not going to dive in. You know, I'm going to do a whole damn episode to, Hector, was there anybody innocent? Did you ever meet anybody innocent? That is not something that a correctional peace officer is looking around saying, you're innocent, you're not. As a survival mechanism, it's better just to accept the facts that they are in prison and your job is to prevent them from jumping the fence or killing each other or killing us. Period. I'll do a whole video one day of any innocent inmates. I really, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I will do one anyways. So, AB 109, they started releasing people to the streets. inmates to the streets by the numbers, by the thousands, probably by the 100,000. And I know this because back in 2008-ish, you go to Bravo Yard Centinela, and you could not see from the pedestrian gate right there all the way to Bravo 1 because of the sea of blue. All the inmates wearing blue. You had inmates out to yard from buildings 1 through 5, the inmates that were assigned to the bunk beds in buildings like 1 through 4, and the gym, all out to yard. That's thousands of inmates out there on the yard. And then as they started releasing these inmates to the streets, with all these realignments, all these resentencies laws, the juvenile conviction, hey, if you did this, I'm not even prevalent. Is prevalent a word? It is today. I'm not even prevalent if the laws, like, again, I was a prison guard. I wasn't a fucking judicial court, man. You know what I mean? So, like, that's none of our avenues at all. Could be if that's what they wanted to do, but they started emptying out. They got rid of the bunk beds on the day room, and I'm like, man, this is nice. I thought that's how prison was before. All these bunk beds, all these inmates. Like, I walked into that. It's like, damn, sure is a lot of blue around here. I'm about to get stomped out right now. That's what I felt like. People were getting stomped out. Believe that. So, what's your take, Hector? What's your opinion? It's not even an opinion. So what's your experience? My 100% honest, truthful experience from me leaving the department. You guys need to understand that where I am at in my life right now, if you're still working in there, are two separate entities. And I've touched on this in another video. It's like, one, you're inside of a war, fighting the enemy. Let's be real. The other, it's like I'm a fucking old, shot out on the inside war veteran looking back, and it's like, damn, ooh, right? That ain't my fight no more at all, right? I could do whatever I please as long as it's within laws, rules, guidelines, and moral and ethical codes. That's what the fuck I was doing inside anyways. Somebody get the administrators on here. So, I saw inmates change. Truth of the fact of the matter, I saw it. I saw it when they were going for the gusto, when they had no hope, when life meant life, when 15 to life meant life, when 25 to life meant life. I saw when they were going for the gusto. They didn't give two fucks. Not one which way or another. Pick up this weapon, put it in your ass, pull it out in yard, and stab the fuck out of this dude and send him to Brazil. I like that one too. Send him to Brazil. Straight up, right? Then I saw when they started getting actions on the streets. They a lot of them would come to the sergeant's office and say, hey, here's a weapon. They want me to stab so-and-so. I don't want to. Boom, period. All right, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Put them in handcuffs. Now, Hector, is everybody that gets released from prison early a good person, rehabilitated? Of course not. Absolutely not, right? I would be a buffoon, like the buffoon at RJD, to say that. How do I know? Because how many Riverside sheriff deputies, how many LA County sheriffs, Corona, freaking Stockton, Sacramento PD have gotten shot to death, police officers in the line of duty, as a result of somebody released early on AB 109. Keeping it real, keeping it raw. That would boil my blood, especially when I was inside. I'm like, nah, fuck. This is a result of this, period. So that's the truth. So Hector, what do you have to say about those guys? Exactly that, right? Boom, bang, bow, pow. There's only one way to stop that. There's only one way to stop somebody from shooting a police officer, and that's to shoot them right back where it counts, right? The moneymaker. That's the truth. But I see what's going on here, right? And I've had the opportunity to talk to many people, of all walks of life since I left the department, right? Formerly incarcerated individuals. Yes, of course, man. I ain't got to fill out no forms or nothing. You know, my mom, like, well, Hector, just be careful. Be careful. Just think about what you're doing, right? And I'm like, does she know who the fuck I am? Right? My wife, right? Like, just because I left the department doesn't mean that I absolutely lost my street smarts, right? That I just all of a sudden walking out here like a dumb fucking idiot, right? Like, oh, hey, right? I am very well aware of what is what and who is who. Within seconds of meeting people, I can read them, right? Read them. It's not a skill set that goes away. I think it's more than a skill set. It's like now it's in part of my life. I say this because we went out to dinner like last month, my wife and I. The dude tattooed on his face, right? I recognize him. You guys might recognize him. YouTube him. The homie Moses Cuevas. Burpees for days. Thousands. I recognize him. I'm like, oh, dude, you're that guy. Yeah, he was kind of like, oh, who's this, right? Hey, man. Oh, dude, I used to watch your burpee videos, man. I myself used to do burpees, right? Burpees are burpees. You can't knock any burpees. Go sit down. My wife was like, the hell? Hector? I said, what? She's like, I don't know. This is just all new to me. And I'm like, well, what's new to you? She's like, before, when you were still working in the prison, you would avoid people like that. You would be more standoffish around people like that. And that's the truth. That is the truth. There's something said about the job that, yeah, there's policies, there's rules, there's over familiarity stuff like that. Like, and I'm not talking about like you being dirty. That's illegal. I'm talking about like being associated with certain people. But that just goes to show you the mindset then, the mindset now, and my own family, loved ones, like looking at me like I done bumped my head, right? When I just see people for who they are. Now that I'm out. Did I see it like that on the inside? Yeah, on the inside. While I was working, yeah, but I just couldn't. It's not. You can't do that. You can't go around associating. That's called associating, right? Regardless if they have bettered their life or not, that nobody's going to give you the chance to explain yourself. You're just going to get caught up in a wreck. And I could see that. But here these people are, formerly incarcerated, out on the streets doing it, man, doing it. Taking care of their children, putting food on the table, working multiple jobs. All these individuals on YouTube that showed me love, brought me onto their channels for interviews. Like, hey, when they're on the YouTube, guess what they're not doing? Robbing liquor stores, robbing gas stations, pistol whipping people, right? Smuggling dope across the border. Just think about what's really, really happening, right? For individuals. Like, that's great, man. And that was the whole message, is like, I've seen the change. I personally have seen the change, right? Being inside, you're fighting them. Straight up. Being outside, everybody wants to be grown, man. Not everybody. I told you about the ones shooting it out with the cops. But there's a lot that I have come across and that are just silent, doing their thing. Maybe they get looked at a certain way because they're tattoos. Maybe more than likely, they have regrets of what the fuck they've done. I know that because I have regrets about what I've done. So, the story, your one chapter in your book of life does not have to define you. That's for a fact, man. That's for a fact. And I learned that when I saw the police record report recently, a couple days ago for me. It said no record. I was like, wow, man. So is there hope? Yeah, there's hope, man. I believe now 7 years completely off your record completely. Even that, there's more. People are giving people chances out here for sure. It's not like in 91, you parole with prison tattoos, and ain't nobody gonna look at you with everybody's gonna look at you sideways and not want to hire you, right? Because you're gonna scare the old ladies pouring coffee. Nah, we're in 2023, man. Everybody has tattoos. I mean, I got one on my hand. I wanted to wait till I got out. Even then, I wasn't gonna be in a uniform with a hand tattoo. Personal preference. Anybody could do what they want, right? But hey, man, if you're still running amok, I would highly recommend you change now before you really cause some damage. If you used to and you don't do it anymore, kudos to you. That's fucking awesome. That's outstanding. That is being a man. That is being a man. Or a woman. There's people, all kinds of people that watch this channel. You know what? Even while I was in, the inmates would be paroling that I would have a rapport with. And I would say, hey, man, when you go back or when you get out, don't go back to the hood. Don't go back to your stomping ground. Get a fucking regular job, man. Get a boring 9-to-5 job. There ain't no shame. I tell them, there minimum wage, there ain't no shame. As long as you're providing that good, clean money and putting food on the table, that's it. There's no shame in any of that. That's what it should be, I think. Hardworking, working class, right? That's my message, you know. It's cool. It's about time they get some recognition from somebody like me. From somebody like me. Previous, with a career and all. Yeah, you could even say, I know, because you're probably thinking it, because I was thinking it too. What about the victims? What about the victims? That is something that those individuals are going to have to make amends. Have to make amends to. Answer to you-know-who too. Whatever they got charged with, they went to prison. For whatever the sentence was that the jury of their peers, I can't even believe I'm saying this right now, but it's the damn truth. That they went to a jury of their peers and said, hey, you did this? The law. You know, you got the blindfold lady. She ain't supposed to be seeing what's what with the scale. The law says the penalty for this crime is this. Boom. They go, they serve their sentence, and then they leave. Like, we're supposed to hold them to forever? Hold that over their head forever? I would highly think that's unfair. If somebody said, Hector, you're a drunk, you get in your car and you drink and you drive, I'm like, well, I don't. I actually have not done that since 2010. Thank you very much. With that was the whole thing, was the message, right? Every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. Keep pushing forward.